Yo-Yo, you marched in the George Floyd protest. There you are. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You were protesting not only police violence against people, racism. You were also marching to honor George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor. Let's watch Yo-Yo, one of the best dressed protesters in town.
What's up, Bradshaw Live? This is Yonathan Elias here in Harlem on 125th and Adam Clayton Powell. Today we are going to be doing a peaceful protest. We have asked all the black men of Harlem to come dressed up in suits to change the narrative, to show that we are not thugs, to show that we are human. We have to actually come out here and we have to dress up to change the narrative, to show what the media won't show. So please join me as we walk and protest. All right. So we are here at our peaceful protest. I have a good friend of mine right here. Well, can you please tell everybody your name and where you're from?
Tyson Lord Gray, and I'm from Harlem, New York.
Okay, and what do you do?
I'm a professor at NYU, and I'm an attorney.
All right, so what are we here doing today?
So we're here commemorating the life, the legacy of George Floyd. So we just came together to say that his life matters, that contrary to what the police tried to show to society, that he didn't matter, that the reality is his life matters, black men's lives matter, black lives matter, and we are here today in solidarity to support that and to remind people that George Floyd's life had value.
Absolutely, and today was a special protest because we asked black men to come dressed up, whether it's in suits, African gear, come professional. What does that mean to you, and what does that mean to the world?
The reality is we are professionals, we're attorneys, we're professors, we're doctors, we're lawyers, and even aside from all of that, we're humans, and at the end of the day, we deserve to have the same respect that they would give to anyone.
Amen. Thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate it.
Look, Corona's still out there.
Black Lives Matter.
All right, I got one of my frat brothers over here. Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the best frat I've ever. Hey, tell them your name, where you from.
Toys Francis. I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Nice. And what do you do?
I work for the state of New York. I'm a content strategist.
So do you feel like this will actually make a change? All these protests and everything that we've been doing around the world, do you think that this will actually make a change?
I think it already has started making a change. They didn't start, with any charges for those police officers. Now all 4 of them are charged. So there is, a purpose to what we're doing, and it is having an impact. And I think that it should have way more impact. There should be laws changed. There should be measures put in place to prevent this from continuing to happen, because if nothing changes, we're going to be doing the same thing again and again and again.
Last question. Give us advice for the young ones out there that want to know, how can you make a change and they feel helpless? What can they do?
The biggest thing that people can do is vote, but if you're young and you're not old enough to vote, I think just talking to people, having that conversation, making sure that you're doing all that you can to change people's minds about this topic, I think that's helpful.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, there you have it, Brad Squad. This was a very successful and peaceful protest. I believe we have changed the narrative. We have showed that we are not thugs. We came up dressed up, we showed out, and we did it very peacefully and respectfully. I hope that you guys go out there and try and make a change. If you're not protesting, then speak your word. Use your social media platform. You guys have to scream it out loud. All right, we have that right. So I thank you for joining us. Back to the studio.
Yo, I'm very proud of you, man. I was proud of you when you did it, and I'm going to say it again. So how was the experience for you? Tell me about the experience, but I'm also curious your thoughts, and maybe, Vanessa, your thoughts too, on, you made it very clear it was a peaceful protest.
Ooh, yeah.
And the media, they covered a lot of violence. Your protest was peaceful, and there was probably, from all of the protests that I saw, although obviously I was inside in the evening, but certainly during the day, it was always peaceful, whatever I saw. So tell me what you think about how your protest went and your experience was. And I'm also curious how both of you think how the media covered the protests, because you made it very clear it was peaceful.
Yeah. It's even hard to talk about it because
yeah,
it's just,
I feel that.
The time we're in right now, and the fact that we had to change the narrative. We had to dress up like that just to be heard, or to just to be taken serious, or to show that,
to be respected.
Like what the media is showing is not that. Like, we had to call all the media. We had to put this together ourselves. Like, we worked really close with NYPD, and they were great with us, but we have to do this in order to let the world know we are not the dogs, the animals that the police are treating us like. So just to be a part of that, it's like we are a part of history now. And it's crazy seeing the footage, that Lee took, because it literally looks like the same exact footage from the protests in the 60s. Like, nothing has changed, and we're still fighting. And I just appreciate even Vanessa, and Alice, and some of the Brad Squad and our co-workers that have gone and protested as well, because that really helped. It shows we're not alone in all of this. So yeah, it was just a lot. It was a good feeling, though. It was a good feeling.
Now, did you help organize this?
Yeah. Friends.
How many people showed up to your protest?
Tens. It was definitely thousands.
Wow.
We walked from Adam Clayton Powell on 125th all the way to 96th Street, and then walked down a couple. We had Corey Wise from Central Park 5. If you guys have watched When They See Us.
Ooh, that's amazing, brother.
Yeah, one
that's
who
amazing.
Actually got the worst out of everything. He was right in front with us, so still marching, So yeah, it was a great experience. It was a dope experience.
What do you think has changed? Did you make a change, or did you make noise?
No, we did both. I'm just really proud that we came out and showed out, especially with the pandemic, we all kind of put together different or help find different city MDs for everybody to get tested after, because, you know, we wanted to make sure everybody was still safe. We all had our masks on. So, you know, we definitely made a change, though. I think we definitely changed the narrative, and we're just going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going.
And Vanessa, what do you think?
Well, I also took part in a peaceful protest here in New Jersey. And it was actually the first time I'd ever been a part of a protest. And I don't know if a lot of people know, but I'm from the Dominican Republic. So I do identify as Afro-Latina. I think that I have been a part of, you know, a little sense of, I guess, because of my presentation or the color of my skin, to not maybe necessarily feel directly affected by racism necessarily, you know, in terms of the Black community. But my father is he looks African American, you know. So for me, after really taking the time to become more knowledgeable and understand much more than surface and much more than just colorism, and how even in this time where there's this pandemic, like, we are literally a part of history. So there's no better time than for us to be stuck home to learn and become knowledgeable and become aware of humanity. So, I mean, I'm pretty sensitive on the topic as well. I do feel like, you know,
you're more
there's
sensitive,
still so much work to do.
You're more sensitive now than you were before.
Yeah, ever before, just because I think that I've never felt, I mean, the area that I grew up in, majority is Latino, is minorities. So I've never felt anything, like, I've never felt different, because we were all, I guess, you know, minorities. Right. So we were all the same around here. But, you know, when I look into other states where that's not the case, where, you know, African Americans are a minority and they're treated the way that they're treated and so inhuman, at the end of the day, it's like it's about a human thing, you know, like, and respecting one another as people, no matter what you see, right? So I was just proud that I could, you know, step out. I had to do my part. It had to be more than just social media. I consider myself an influencer, so I can't just be an influencer when it's convenient for me. I can't just influence when things are pretty. It's important to be an influence when things aren't so beautiful. So I would just encourage people to use their platforms, even if you don't think you necessarily have a platform. It doesn't have to do with followers. It just has to do with people and spreading the word. And I've just grown a lot as a person in this time. I just have a lot of love for my colleagues. I know amazing, you know, African Americans like my brother Yo-Yo. And when he sent that picture of what he put together, I mean, I didn't really express it too heavy in our group chat, but I was just so proud to be, you know, even in the same space with a person like you, Yo-Yo. And there's so much work to do still. And I feel that our generation is going to be, there will be a revolution. I was telling Yo-Yo, yes, I would love to live in a time, I would love for my kids to think that we were all strange forever, even being a part of a racist, you know, systemic environment. So I pray for the future, and I have faith in it, and all we can do is be a part of the movement.
Well said for both of you. My opinion is, you know, the culture war is being won. In past incidents, when young Black men got killed by police, the only people who were outraged were the liberals and the people in the minority community. But your middle class, white suburban, which still is a majority of Americans, were not outraged. May have been upset, but not outraged. I think everyone is outraged now, to the point where it's okay to kneel for the flag. It's okay to take down racist monuments. The state of Mississippi is taking off the Confederate emblem. There's a part of the Confederate flag inside of the state flag of Mississippi. And they are voting right now to take that part of that Confederate emblem off the state flag. And there's a Republican governor of Mississippi, which historically is an extraordinarily racist state. Not to say every person who lives in Mississippi is a racist, but what is historically a racist state, saying that he's going to sign that legislation to get rid of that emblem off the state flag. It doesn't belong there. So I think from a culture war, these protests and this outrage has convinced the average white guy, somebody who looks like me, although I was convinced before, but somebody who looks like me, has convinced the average white person, has convinced the average American who is not a minority. There is no average American, but the average American who is non-minority, that something is really, really wrong here when black Americans are targeted, when black Americans are killed, when there's a majority of the people in jail are black Americans, when black Americans go to jail, I don't know the exact statistic, 10, 20 times more for drugs than white Americans. You're saying white Americans don't do drugs? White Americans don't sell drugs? When the police violence against black Americans, you know, even in the Central Park, right before George Floyd, the whole incident with George Floyd happened, there were 30 arrests in Central Park, I remember one weekend, right here in New York City, for people not social distancing and wearing masks, and 29 were black. Only black people don't wear masks?
Right.
So I think that the culture war has been won. There is a large majority, I think I saw a statistic, over 75% of Americans who want to reform the police. Over 75% of Americans who say they want to fix this racist society. 3 out of 4 Americans are now saying that, would never happened before. So from a cultural standpoint, we're winning.
Yeah,
from a legislation standpoint, from what laws are we going to change to enforce this new reality, we're waiting to see what happens with that.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen a lot of laws change, but I'm proud of you, man. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.